Alright, see if you're getting a notification. We're checking to see if YouTube is sending out a notification. Huh? Okay. I gotta turn this big fan off right here. Now I need to get the chat window up. There's the chat window. Hey Jerry, I see you were the first one in the group. That's good. Made a couple little changes. I adjusted the one camera back here, and I've made an adjustment to the microphone here. So hopefully it sounds a little clearer. And I've made an adjustment to the other camera for the guitar rig. And let me show you what that angle looks like. There's the other angle. And we actually have the VU meter working. Now, the first time we used this camera angle, Linnell went back on the stream and looked at it. It actually wasn't the camera. Well, it was the camera, but the camera had taken a photo. And every time I switched to the amplifier on the very first stream, it was just a photo. Because she walked by one time and the camera never picked it up, so it was just a photo. So now with the VU meter, we can actually see that it is a live camera. So let me switch this. I'm still learning the buttons here, guys. Now, whenever I do that, it messes up my chat window. So I always have to remember to go back and reopen the chat. Now you asked about the PV impact, so I'm going to minimize this, and I'm going to look up the PV impact on reverb. And if I can do this here, first I'm going to go to reverb, reverb music, and let's see if I can find a PV impact. PV Impact 1. It comes up under General Search. And there are 2 on Reverb. So let me go back to the chat. Now, Linnell will have to talk to me and tell me what is actually going on. Alright, there's our window, so if I minimize this, we should be able to see reverb. So I'm going to click on the very first one. So this PV Impact 1 USA made graphite, this one actually has the cam-based Kaler tremolo on it. That's what this is. So basically what it is, this cam back here, right where the pointer's moving, that's pulling back and forth on the strings, okay, almost like what a Gigsby would do. And this little roller is what's keeping the intonation right. So the string rolls on that roller. It's actually a pretty cool design. Yeah, these were great guitars, Jerry. The Impact ones. It's not what I have. It's a different headstock, different body layout. The Impacts also didn't have the problem with the bodies breaking right where I'm moving the pointer. These were solid guitars. If that's the one that you're looking at, I can't see the chat. Let's go and look at the other red one. Ooh, this is a pretty one for $400. That one's pretty. I like that one. That one looks like it's in really good shape. And here's a really good view of those brass rollers. Hey, time surfing alien. Linnell is reading the comments to me because with this window open, I cannot see the comments. So right here's the cam that the strings are going over. And then this is the ball end that locks in here. So when you move this bar, you see how it goes into this cam? This is a radius here, okay? And that radius is not a true radius. It's actually an ellipse. And as you move that bar back and forth, it changes the radius, which changes the amount that it's moving that ball end. Let's say at the very beginning, it'll only move, let's say you move the end of the bar an eighth, it may only be moving that cam 0.5 millimeters. But as you move the bar down, let's say you're down 25% and you move it that eighth, it might move the whole cam a whole millimeter. So it's what they call it, it's an ellipse profile on this cam. These were good bridges. And you can call Dave Keller. Underneath this bridge, there's a pocket route. And there's a series of springs. You can stiffen these up to make them flutter like a Floyd Rose. There's nothing at all wrong with these bridges. This was the bridge that actually created the Keller Floyd Rose war that everyone's spoke of. Did you want the fulcrum base Floyd Rose, or did you want the cam base Keller? Oh, curtain scale, Linnell said is on. I cannot see the chat, so welcome to the chat, man. I'm glad you made it. Jerry left a comment in one about the PV impact, so we're kind of going over the impact right now. I'm going to go back to OBS and switch camera angles again.
Jerry said I was skeptical of the polymer polyglide fretboard. I've read good and bad, so I'm not sure I want to pick one up.
Let me minimize this real quick, Jerry. So basically, what that is, it was a very early version of an HPL fingerboard. It was a high pressure laminate. I actually think Peavy's was way ahead of their time. I mean, even in the early 70s, Peavy was cam basing, his T model guitars long before anyone else was, and automating the process. So that fretboard material was way ahead of its time. You don't have to be scared of it. I mean, look at the age of that guitar, and it's complicated. For me to get back to those windows, go to Reverb, guys. There's only two of them that come up if you type in PV Impact. Look at both fretboards on both of those guitars. They look nice. Those fretboards really hold up. Now, I reviewed a guitar. It was I think it was a Valgoa that had the high pressure laminate, which I feel is just a little bit cheaper version than what Peavy had back in the 80s. I liked it. It's a harder feel than ebony. So if you like rosewood and you really like ebony, you're gonna love that Peavy fingerboard, and you're gonna like the high pressure laminate fingerboard. Both of them are really cool. You can't go wrong with them. So hopefully that answers your question on that one, Jerry. I've only played those guitars a couple times, so I can't tell you. Well, I can tell you at the time that I played them, the action that they were set up on was a little higher than my nitros, but they're good, solid instruments. That whole series in the 80s with Peavy, they made phenomenal instruments. That's why Eddie Van Halen eventually went to them in the early 90s. Peavy was just cranking out some solid guitars. For Eddie Van Halen to say, yes, you can build my signature guitar, here's how I want it built, that's saying something, because, Music Man, that company is no slouch. You got Music Man, you got Peavy, and now Fender doing the EVH. I still think, and if you talk to a lot of, the Peavey HP2s, the Wolfgang, the True Peaveys, I still feel is some of the best EVH guitars ever made. I think they're better than the new Fender ones. The Music Man ones, you can't take anything away from Music Man. They were good, solid instruments. So if you're looking for one of those, man, don't hesitate on it. You know, they're solid guitars. Now you can find, I'm not telling you to try to find a needle in a haystack, but I have seen the Impact ones with the fulcrum bass tremolo that I like. It'll either be well, it probably won't be a Spider, but it would be the Killer 2700. I have seen one or two of them with that bridge, but most of them had the Killer cam bass tremolo like that red and gray one. But they're great guitars. Well, I want you guys to listen to my new tone that I worked on. And I got something cool to show you guys. I'm going to switch camera angles here. I can't go to that one. Let's see. I need to go to that one. No, hold on, guys. Too many buttons. There we go.
Bryce is on.
Hey, Bryce. The only reason I know you're there is Linnell yelled it in. We've got the chat window closed on the OBS windows, so I really can't see it. So if you guys don't know, this is a new guitar. And yes, it is a Firefly. This video is coming. I'm working on it right now. But I want you guys to hear this thing. I've reviewed a lot of Firefly guitars. This one here, I think this one has the sound of the Les Paul I was playing. I did send that back to its owner. But it has the playability of the purple guitars. Who is it? Oh, Jupe. Hey, Jupe. Linnell just come in and hollered and told me you were on. Now, the action height from the factory on this guitar was set, well, I haven't changed it because I'm still in the middle of reviewing it. It's set a little high. So I'm gonna switch over the other microphone, and I'm gonna make some adjustments. Linnell just come in and said there was no sound. Good thing, because again, I'm still learning the buttons, and I had the buttons backwards. So, now let's hear what this guitar sounds like. notice something here, guys. This is not a locking bridge. And this is the first time that I'm going to say Firefly got something right on a floating bridge. This is a 2-point bridge. I mean, it is fulcrum based. It doesn't have the 6 screws like the fender. So it only has 2 posts. I'm not saying you can abuse it like a Kaler or a Floyd Rose, but pay attention to this. This guitar actually stays in really good tune. I have not put any nut lube on it. I haven't dressed the nut. This is how it come out of the box. I gotta say, it's quite impressive for a non-locking bridge. And if you didn't hear, I was a whole half step out on my little change there. That's okay. When you make a mistake, guys, and you're out live, really, you got to learn to play through your mistakes. So, yeah, I knew I was out, but I played through it. That was the hardest thing when I was out playing live, is when you make a mistake, don't stop. Play through it. Your band will figure out you made a mistake. You can play through the mistake. Everyone makes mistakes. Just learn how to play through it and recover. That's very important. But I don't know what you guys think of this thing. It's really impressing me. This guitar was one of their $199 Super Strats. And I think it was like $225 shipped to my door. Very dark, roasted maple neck on the back.
Jerry said it squeals pretty good.
It does. It's quite harmonic. Let me switch back to the other camera, and I'll turn off the guitar mic. And I gotta get my vocal thing back up. Let me switch over here. Sorry, guys, my nose. This week we've had some real strange weather. It went from 25 degrees to 60 degrees, back to 30 degrees. Now, today it got up to 53 degrees. And then next week it's calling for ice and snow and yeah, ice and snow tomorrow, and it was 52 degrees today. So my little squirrel brain and my squirrel nose is just not doing well with the temperature changes. Let me get the chat window back here. So what do you guys think of that guitar? I'm kind of liking that thing. I'm working on the review right now on it, and I'm going to do something a little different. I know everyone likes the super detailed reviews. So how I'm doing, the way I did it last time, I didn't like it because there was no demo section on it. Okay, you watched that whole and there was no demo. So what I'm doing this time is I'm doing the unboxing, then we're doing a general fit and finish. Then I want to check all the factory specs. How did I receive it? How's the action height? How's the neck relief? How's the first fretted note? How's the guitar set up from the factory? Then I'm going to do a demo on it, and that's going to be that video. The second video on the guitar is going to be, I guess, to steal the phrase, the deep dive, or we'll call it nerding out on the guitar. That's where I'm going to go in and really give you the inductance, the impedance, the Henrys, all the pickup readings. We'll go through and check the radius on the neck. We'll really tear the guitar apart. We're going to take the neck off the guitar, check the neck pocket, check the routes where the pickups are, check the routes where the electronics are, check all the soldering joints, and that'll be on like the geeky video number 2. And then we'll do another demo section on the back side of that video, because when you disassemble a guitar like that, you've got to reset all the intonation. I'll have to reset all the string action heights, the neck relief, give the guitar a tune-up, and then compare the two. We'll have two. This is how you receive it. This is what you get. And after we tear it apart and put new strings on it, this is what you get if you do not buying any parts. Just give the guitar a good setup and see what it does.
Curtin Scale said freezing here with a shit ton of snow. And
We're,
Jerry said it's a wonderful balmy 75 here today.
Jerry must, oh, that's right. Jerry's way down in the south. So, yeah. That's okay, Jerry. I got a friend of mine that lives in Tampa. And this time of year, he's always saying, oh, I'm so cold, I'm going to turn on the heat. And I'll ask him, what temperature? He goes, oh, it's like 78 degrees, I'm freezing. He does that to me, but I tell you, I get him back when August comes around. I'm like, hey, how's that Florida weather now that it's August and it's like 105 and 100% humidity and he can't go outside. He's got his air conditioners cranked 100%. I lived in South Carolina for a while, and it's a different kind of hot. I never lived down in Louisiana and Florida. I know in South Carolina the humidity was so bad. At 100 degrees, the air felt heavy. There was so much moisture in the air. When you breathe, you could feel the heaviness in the air. It was horrible down there.
Juke said, I'm in Rhode Island. We're going to get a big snow tomorrow night through Sunday. Then there's about 3 or so other storms coming this way after this weekend.
Yeah, Jupe, you're in the exact same scenario that I'm in. I'm in Northern Virginia. Hey, can I have the ashtray on? So, hey Ted, what's up, man? If I hit the wrong button for you, Ted, I'm sorry. No, I can't. I can't, Ted. I'm sorry, because look at this one doing the dancing behind me. She's getting into it now. If I hit the button for Ted, then Jerry's gonna get jealous. And Ted, I love you to death, man. But Jerry is our resident PV expert because he worked for PV. So.
In Michigan said it was 10 degrees out.
Oh, Kurt, Michigan. Now, my brother lives in Michigan. Jupe and we got no room to talk because that Michigan air coming off the lake, whoo, My gosh, that will cut you in half. It's so cold.
Jerry said when he went to South Carolina, the gnats were horrible.
They got a special bug down there in South Carolina. If you didn't put this screen on the front of your car and you would drive from Mullins, South Carolina into Florence, you wouldn't get to Florence. Your car would be overheating before you got to Florence because of these. They're not gnats. They call them jiggers or something. It would just clog your radiator. You couldn't just go to the car wash and wash them out. You actually had, they made the stuff that they sold down there to spray on it. It would eat that stuff out of the radiator so the bugs would come out of the radiator when you washed it. It was horrible. Oh, I'll sneak one in for you, Ted. I didn't do it. We get up there at times, minus temps. Yeah, in Rhode Island, you're see, Virginia's kind of in the spot where we do get some cold weather here. We do. But we also get some hot weather. So I would say from where I'm at down to like maybe Roanoke, that's the medium part climate on the East Coast. It can get to negative, 0, 5. It does happen. And we also get the 100, 102, 103 temp days. But for the most part, we usually stay, I'm going to say, between 25 and 90. That's normal. Anything over really 95 in this area is kind of unusual. And anything under really 20 is kind of unusual. We do get it, but this is kind of like the sweet spot, this section of Virginia. I would say some of North Carolina's in that spot too. Yeah, that's the thing. Jupe just said the actual temps plus the wind chill. The wind chill makes a big difference on how things feel. Oh man, you're welcome, Ted. I'm trying to. I'll give Ted one thing. I watch his live streams, man, and he keeps up with that chat. He's got his little squirrel brains going, and he's doing his comments, and then the other part of his mind is on that chat, and he's good about it. I'm trying to get as good as Ted at with the chat, so I'm trying to look over at the chat, read the comment, and then comment, to you guys. Jerry says he lived in Norfolk. Yeah, that's down by Mount Trashmore. If no one knows where Mount Trashmore is, just type in Mount Trashmore. Whenever you get that much trash and you don't know what to do with it, you turn it into the city park. That's what they did. They piled all the trash up into a big mountain. They put dirt on top of it, planted trees, put bark benches on it, and called it Mount Trashmore. Just saying. That's what they did. I don't think they've done that here. Here, when they do it, they have these little pipes sticking out of the ground that turn over. I guess that's to vent the gas out of the. I don't know what that's about. So back to the Firefly guys. What are you guys thinking? I know. I don't call other channels out. Some channels though. I don't want to be the Firefly channel. I know I've reviewed a lot of Fireflies. But I'm not here to blow smoke up Fireflies' butt, if you know what I mean.
Ted said he grew up in Baltimore, but he's in Texas now.
Oh, you grew up in Baltimore. Yeah, I still go to Baltimore quite a bit. There's what's that steel company up in Baltimore that's always sends us the thing we get steel from?
I don't remember.
It's I don't know. There's a big steel company right downtown Baltimore. You go under. You take the 495 tunnel, and when you come out, it's the second exit there. And there's a steel supplier there. We always go up and get a bunch of steel from those people. So I'm up in Baltimore at least 2 or 3 times a year.
He said sometimes he misses a real winter.
Yeah, Baltimore gets a lot of that effect off the water. So their temperatures are not like where I'm at. It's usually a little chillier there in Baltimore, from what I remember. But what I was saying as far as the Firefly, uh, you know, they haven't hit 100% on the channel. And what's funny is this particular Firefly that I was just playing, I have one that's the same model that's downstairs that they put the Floyd Rose in. I'm telling you guys, that thing's awful. It will not stay in tune. As soon as you move the bar, I mean, if you just barely wiggle it, it goes out of tune. It was set up wrong. There's finishes, there's flaw finishes. I did a review on it. It's like the Purple Burst or something. Super strap with the Floyd Rose. It was a horrible guitar. It left such a bad taste in my mouth. I ordered this guitar and that guitar at the same time. So that tells you how long this guitar has just been sitting here in the box. And I wasn't worried about reviewing it because I'm like, well, the first one was horrible. So most likely this one's going to be horrible too. But this one I ordered because it had a different bridge on it and different pickup configuration. And it's night and day difference. Even though the body itself is the same shape, it's the Super Strat, like more of the Ibanez style body. This guitar here is, it's well done. And that's all I can say. Even the fret alignment going down the neck is nice on the guitar. And one of the weak points Firefly has always had is the pickups. This guitar sounds good. It sounds like that Les Paul that I just sent back to its owner. I would take this guitar to any bar and play out with it and not even worry about it. And I've said that about other guitars. Most people are not going to hear the difference that are in the bar. But I could take this and just change my EQ just a little bit on my amp, and I'm telling you, I by the time I get to the second song, I would not know the difference between this or any other guitar that I was playing in the bar. It has really impressed me. For a $230 guitar, it's impressive. But this is going to be one of the last Fireflies we do for a while, guys. I'm going to review the Squire probably next. I have a Jackson, and I'm thinking about getting an E-Art. Yeah, an E-Art has a new model. They used to call it the Explorer. Well, they've rebadged it and lowered the price and put a lack of electronics in it. And that guitar is coming in right at $400. So I'm thinking about ordering one of those guitars. I think there's a lot of good guitars in the $300 to $400 price range.
Ted said, "Let's see it." I missed that part.
Oh, you missed the guitar? All right, Ted, hold on. Let me switch camera angles for Ted. All right, Ted. Here's the guitar. And it's got that sandblasted ash body. So they've sandblasted the body and etched the body and then put a whitewash finish on it. It is freaking beautiful. And that's all you can say. That's a beautiful finish.
He said cool.
The chrome and stuff on this is it's well made. Sometimes, guys, you can find a guitar, and this is one of them. And I know this is one. Okay, I get it. It's one guitar. Who's to say that every model like this was as good as this one? That's why we do the reviews here. I want people that bought this one to post. That way, when Firefly brings this model back, we have a reference. This is a sharp model by them. And I've said it before, sometimes they just knock it out of the park. And this one knocks it out of the park. Even the roasting on the back of this neck, look at how dark that is.
Did you hear me?
No, hon.
Jackie Treehorn is on.
Jackie. Okay, hold on. Let me switch camera angles again. And then I gotta go and get the chat back. There it is. Hey, Jackie, how are you? Good to see you made it to the group. like to say hello to everybody when, especially since they've already been here. But those are kind of like the guitars that I was thinking about doing. If you guys have some different suggestions, I kind of slowed down on the reviews because I had so many guitars here, and I have to buy the guitar with my own money, and then I usually set them up and I resell them to recoup the money to move on. I probably had 40 some guitars here at one time, and it was just getting to the point where I had to hit the brakes on it. Um, Anyone that has a YouTube channel knows you're not going to make any money on YouTube until you hit, I'm going to say, 150,000 subscribers plus. Um, and you're not going to really get too many companies reaching out for you until you get maybe 3, 4, 5,000 subscribers. So my channel, my personal channel, those companies are never going to reach out to me anyway. I go over the instrument too well. I point out too many things. They're wanting more demo type channels where they're going to, hey, look at this guitar. It looks awesome. It looks sweet. Let's jam. And they just rock through it. And then they do a plug and put a link to it. That's what those companies are looking for. They're looking for content creators that are going to do content like that. And that was the main reason that I started this channel, because I was getting on Amazon and I was looking at these guitars. I'm like, how good could these guitars actually be? This is a $150 guitar. How good could it be? And I got on YouTube and I'm like looking, and all these guys are going, oh, it's great, it's great. And I didn't hear one bad review on any of them, whether it was an Ivy, Leo James, there was Firefly, there was Grote, there was Valgoa, Stage Right. There was a couple other brands at the time that was on Amazon. Stage or Stage or whatever it was. I don't see anything from them anymore. But I looked on YouTube. I didn't find one negative review. But what I did find was every channel had a link to get a kickback. Now, if you guys don't know, I'm 100% open and honest. On Amazon, if you set up an affiliate link, which mine is down right now due to tax stuff with Canada, don't even ask. I can't get a hold of Amazon to even fix it. I've been trying to fix it for about a month and a half. Something to do with the Canada tax, and it's crazy. But on average, musical instruments pay between 2% and 3%. Most of the time it's 2%. Sometimes a chord or a strap or something like that you might get 3% on, or maybe a straight edge. But usually it's 2%. So on a $200 guitar, I'm going to make $4. That's it. So if I'm going to push a product, you guys have to buy 1,000 of those things for me to make any money whatsoever, or 500 of them to make any money whatsoever. It's not a way of really funding the channel. That's just me being honest. Now, if you go to Sweetwater, once you get bigger, Sweetwater will give you a better kickback. We're a long way away from it on this channel. That's why I always ask you guys, what are you guys kind of curious to seeing? That way, as I look and I try to find deals on instruments, what do you think would be good to review? I mean, I've got the Squire Nashville Telly coming up. I've got a 7-string JS Jackson, which is their budget line Jackson, coming up. And then, of course, I've got the Kramer Beretta, which is not a budget guitar, coming up. What other guitar do we have? Yeah, we're going to do a live stream tomorrow night, Jupe. Right. Tonight is just a night for me to test new camera angles, check the microphone. See, I'm sitting that far back from the microphone, I didn't even change the levels. So tonight's like a goof off stream, work out the bugs. I did try to have 3 cameras. So the camera you're watching right now is hardwired. It's not wirelessly connected. The other camera is wirelessly connected. So the issue I'm having with the Mevos are I can only have one Mevo as a webcam. That's all it'll see. And I can only have one Mevo wirelessly connected without using the phone app to my computer. It sees it, but I can't click on it and delegate it to a channel in OBS or the AG. The computer sees it, it says it's ready, but it's not available. Excuse me, it's been bad weather. So I tried that earlier. That's why the stream was so late tonight. And then I wanted to get the sound a little bit better on the guitar amplifier. So I've been trying to get it a little better. So that's what tonight's about. Tonight's kind of a goof off stream. Yeah. We're going to do Friday night goof off, and then the real stream, I guess. I guess they're both real streams. It really doesn't matter which one you consider being the real stream. Eventually, Saturday night will always be the live stream. So Friday night, let's say I get the review on the Firefly done. Well, instead of maybe doing a live stream on Friday night, we may do what's called a video premiere. And on the video premiere, it's the video. It would be the review, but it plays in live time. So you guys can type in the chat, and I'm here just like now, but instead of being able to talk to you, I'm in the chat too with you. And you can ask questions and do comments as the review's going. So that's how I'm kind of seeing Friday nights being. If we don't have a premiere video that the group can kind of jump in and chat with, we'll just do a test stream like we're doing tonight. And then if we have a premiere, we'll do the premiere. And then on Saturday night, we'll always do the live. If that's cool with you guys. And Jerry says, have to see if SW has an account.
Acoustic.
An acoustic. I've been looking for under 500. I'll be honest with you. There's a ton of good acoustics under 500. Fender makes, believe it or not, Fender makes a ton of acoustics under $500. What is it? Love Breed? I think that's the acoustic that I have. If you, I don't. This was years ago. I'm pretty sure Love Breed has an acoustic under $500. I love my Love Breed. It has a very deep, mellow sound. It's not high pitchy, that twangy. I can't even. Some acoustics just have like a real high twangy sound. The Love Breed I have is very mellow. It's got a real robust, full sound. You might want to look at a Love Breed.
I think SW is Sweetwater.
Yeah, SW is Sweetwater. Yeah. I don't know if Sweetwater carries Love Breed. I can, let me see, while you guys are chatting, I can see if Sweetwater is carrying Love Breed. Sweetwater Music. Sweetwater. I'm going to type in Love Breed. I'm not seeing anything under Love Breed.
Breed Love.
Or yeah, Breed Love, she said. Yeah, that sounds right.
That's what Ryan said, and Juke said it too.
Breed Love. Yeah, you're right. I don't know why I've got dyslexia so bad. Yeah, Sweetwater does have Breed Love. Now, the first ones that come up are ridiculously expensive. The first one that comes up is basically $3,000. There's one for $4,000. Here's one. Let me switch camera angles, guys, and we'll get the display capture up. Here's one. Love Breed Echo Discovery S Dreadnought Concert for $399. I'm telling you guys, these are nice acoustics. I would definitely check that one out for $399. I don't know what else they got here. See, most of these are Most of these are ridiculously priced. It's got 4 pages.
Jerry said he saw Justin Johnson playing it. It's all solid wood, no laminate, from Indonesia.
Is that the Breedlove that he's speaking of?
I don't know. He didn't say.
Here's a white Breedlove for $549. Yeah, this is just one that I know of. Here's another one for $500. So they do have some lesser expensive models. And you know, for someone to say, "Oh, this is better than this or better than that," guitars, especially acoustic guitars, you can have 2 of the exact same models and they'll sound completely different. So acoustic is definitely one of those instruments that I think I would definitely go to the store, pick it up and play it and make sure that I like it. If not, I'm going to buy it from a vendor that I know I can send it back to just in case I don't like it. This is just crazy for $390. I'm going to click on this one, guys. Everyone's probably like, "Oh my gosh, that's horrible looking." I kind of like the plain Jane acoustics. It's got a nice rosette. I like the rosette on it. Looks like it's got a binding. Looks like it's a 3-piece black binding. I like the tailpiece. And notice this doesn't use the pins. This is a string through tailpiece. And I do have some thoughts on this. A lot of people use the pins. When you push the pin in, the pin is actually on the bone or the plastic, and then that's wedged into the wood, and that's transferring the string vibration into that piece of wood that's attached to the top of the guitar. With this setup, it's directly resonant. The back of that ball is right on the back side of that tailpiece against the body. That's going to be very resonant. Not saying one's better than the other, but I really like the tailpieces like this when they run the string through like that on the acoustic instead of using the pins. I'm a big fan of that. I like that. And then here's the headstock.
Ted said he's had his hands on 3 orange wood for his grandsons. They were all inexpensive and good quality.
Orange wood. Orange wood. I don't know that brand either.
Juke said, "I've played some acoustics at Guitar Center in the expensive room and others in the main room, lower priced, and some of the low priced ones sound better."
Yeah, I agree with that, Juke. Sometimes, especially in today's world, let's see, the guitar we were just looking at right here, it's $399. Okay, so let's go up to the top of the page here. I didn't see another what they call a full jumbo guitar like that. Well, here's one. Here's a full jumbo for $2,799. So is this guitar going to play 2, 4, 6 times better than this one? Okay, so this one's $399 and this one's $27. So I mean, really, is this guitar going to play 6 times better than this guitar? It may have a little bit more resonance. It might be a little fuller, but at least I work for a living. This $2,700 guitar would have to be something that I always wanted, where it just had that magic feel. When you pick the guitar up, you just instantly bond to it. And believe me, guys, that's happened. I've picked up, you can ask Linnell. When that happens, she usually just tells me to buy it because she knows if I don't and I go back and it's not there, I throw a little hissy fit because I bonded with that guitar. I get it. You might pick that $2,700 guitar up and go, "This is it. I gotta have it." And for you, I get it. If you bond with it, then that's worth $2,700. But me looking at it, I would definitely have them pull both of those guitars, this $400 guitar and this $2,800 guitar. I want them sitting side by side. I want to pick that one up, set it down, pick the other one up, and see, is it worth me spending? I mean, because you got bills to pay. So let's say you can afford $300 extra a month. Well, that means you're going to work a month and 1 week for this one extra over. And this one you're going to be spending the whole year working for. Because you got rent, you got a car payment, you got car insurance, whatever it is, that it's on your extra money. So that I want to be able to enjoy it. And there's a couple guitars that I don't want to play because they might scratch it. And then I'm like, I bought the guitar, I want to enjoy it. And then there's the side of me like my older Kramer. I don't want to scratch it. It's an antique, it's a classic. But you still want to enjoy it. So that $400 guitar, if it played even 90% to what that 20, I would buy it all day long. That way, if I hit the coffee table with it, I'm not going to cry. And I would cry at $2,800 if I hit the coffee table with that guitar. I'm going to cry.
Ted said he bought them at the Orangewood website. Well, his daughters bought them.
Yeah, Orangewood. I have to check Orangewood out.
He said it's the Orangewood website. Jerry said Bromo is company, Avery.
Right.
Jackie said, I don't play acoustic enough to spend more than $500 on a guitar. I've got a $299 Epiphone AJ210 that suits me well.
Yeah, I have the Breed Love or Love Breed. What I just looked at it, don't even remember. I have that guitar, and I don't have the Firefly acoustic anymore, do we?
Chris bought them.
Yeah, Chris bought the Fire. That's right, Chris bought two of the guitars. So Short Bus actually bought my Firefly acoustic that I reviewed, and when he said he wanted an acoustic, I was like, he listened to rock and roll, and he goes, well, I want an acoustic. And I'm like, you sure you don't want electric? And he wanted an acoustic. It was like less than 3 weeks, wasn't it?
It was probably about 2 weeks.
She says it was probably 2 weeks. He come up and said, nah, I want an acoustic. I want an electric. So I was like, okay, well, I told you. So now he's got the acoustic, he's got the electric, and we've got him hooked up. I wish when I was learning that I had an acoustic that plays like that Firefly, because that Firefly acoustic actually plays pretty good for $200, and an electric that played like that. My first guitar my father bought me was an acoustic, and the strings were in the county over zip code to the fretboard. I mean, even playing cowboy chords, you just felt like you had to be He-Man to push those strings in on that neck. And I didn't really play it much. And I always told him, so you get me something that I can play. Get me something, He's like, well, you got to play that first. And I played that thing, and I tried to play it, and I tried to play it. And eventually, he did buy me a better acoustic. But that was my first acoustic. So learning on what Chris has, like that little new X amp, that Firefly Les Paul, and the Firefly acoustic, I couldn't imagine having something that nice to start out with. I mean, it's night and day difference.
Ted said he's had his Epiphone acoustic for over 40 years and it's still solid.
Yeah. I mean, I think, what was it? That Breed Love, is that what we said it was? My Breed Love, I bought off K&B Music. They were out of Martinsburg. And that guitar was actually supposed to be destroyed, but it wasn't destroyed. It was sold to someone, and they played in a live band, and after a couple weeks of it being on the stage with the stage lights, the neck actually twisted on that guitar, so that the neck, when it come off the body, did this just a little bit, and you couldn't adjust it out with the truss rod because it just went like this. So when he brought the guitar in, K&B warranted it, and the company said destroy the guitar. Well, technically, he just put it in the back. About 6 months went by, and I told him I was looking for an acoustic. And he brought this thing out. He goes, look, this one's messed up. See what you can do with it. So I took it home, and I shot moisture in the neck, and I put it in a jig, and I twisted the guitar. And it sat in the jig for 6 or 7 months. Then I released it, and then waited 6 months, and I saw what the neck was doing, and then I put it back in the jig to flatten it out a little bit more. It is 99.8% correct. I still think it's out about It's probably out 0.03 of an inch across the backside, but it's really close. I would say that's within the margin of error of any neck, and it's been that way now for probably 13 years. So I was able to save the guitar. Been a good guitar. Now I'm missing the chat here again. Jupe, something, the JB200. It's the way I am with. Yeah, see, I'm missing part of the chat because it's cutting it off.
You're not missing anything.
Let me pull over the chat so I can read it better. Well, you guys are talking about, you guys must have been partying somewhere. You're talking about a dude getting arrested. You guys are taking your guitars and beating people with your guitars or something. I'm missing on that whole conversation. So I don't know if what other acoustics you guys think about. I know my local guitar shop has Fender, and they had several Fender acoustics in there under 500. So I don't think that you're going to have any problems at all finding an acoustic at that price point.
The acoustic company that, or whatever that Jerry was talking about is Bromo. What's the name of the company?
Bromo. Yeah, she's saying I'm gonna have to. I'm still learning how to do the one window versus the chat window versus the. So give me a couple more weeks to get used to that stuff, guys.
Jerry said Sweetwater doesn't carry that brand.
Yeah, you know, I tell you, a guitar I'm waiting on Sweetwater to have, and I think Linnell knows I'm going to get one when it comes in. Have you guys seen the new Sire Les Paul, the new L7V? Okay, now I know they've been making that guitar for a couple years. They made like a cherry burst, then they had the black, and then they had their gold top. Well, I am telling you right now, go to Sire's website and look at the 2025 model of the L7V in is it cherry red? I think it's cherry red or wine red. Oh my gosh, that thing is beautiful. It is beautiful. They've also changed the headstock logo a little bit. Instead of it just saying Larry Carton across it, now they've put a little embroidered, like almost like the Epiphone, like the little crown. It's not like the crown like Epiphone, but now they've come out with their own little symbol that they're putting up there. It says Larry Carton. It is classy. They've changed the tuning keys on it a little bit. It still has that really nice access cut on the back of the guitar. And I don't think the price point has changed on it. Anderson's over in the UK list them for pre-order, but we have an exchange rate there. So if I exchange it, it seems like it is a little bit more than what Sweetwater is doing the 2024 models for. But once Sweetwater shows the red one, I want that guitar. And
Jerry's asking if you're talking about Sire.
yeah, it's Sire. It's Sire, I think, is the brand. Larry Carlton, and it's the L7V. Jerry, type that one in. Yep, Kurt Inscale has it. It's the Sire L7V, and the 2025 model. If you go to Sire's website, when I first went there, I couldn't find it. But then Linnell pulled it up on the phone, and she goes, "Well, it's right here. It's on their website." And I'm on the computer. I'm like, well, I'm on the Sire website, and it doesn't show the red one. You got to make sure that if you're on your computer, for whatever reason on the computer, it'll show 2024 and 2025. Make sure you're on the 2025 model lineup, and it will show the cherry wine. I guess it's cherry wine red. It is beautiful. I want that guitar in the cherry wine. That's going to be one of the guitars that will be purchased this year. I foresee that. I don't know if I could try to go back. Let me see if I can go back and.
I'm gonna be noisy.
Linnell says she's going to be noisy. So she's getting ice out of the refrigerator. I'm typing in Sire Guitars right now. Sire Guitars official site. Sire USA. I'm going to attempt to find it, guys. 2025 models. Okay, we want to look at the. Now they come out with some headless models too. For 700, it looks very nice. They've got a multi-scale, looks pretty cool, and they actually come out with a little bit different version of. They come out with the more of a rock guitar last year. I wanted to order one. Now they have a Y5 and a Y10. Both of them look pretty solid. And I'm gonna have to look at a different gen here. Here it is. All right, now I'm going to go back to OBS. I'm going to hit share my screen so you guys can see this. This is the model I'm thinking about. Now, the picture here really isn't doing it justice. If you guys get on YouTube, Anderson's had a video when they were at NAMM, and they went to the Sire booth. And the color, this thing kind of changes color when the light hits it. It is stunning. And then here's something they added. Look at the headstock here. They've added that little crown. Okay. Now it says Larry Carlton on the truss rod cover. It used to say that down the headstock. So they've taken it off the headstock and put it on the truss rod cover and added that little crown. I think that looks really cool. And of course it still has the S for the Sire there. Pick guard, standard bridge, two P90s.
Jerry said neck profile.
On this guitar, it's going to be more, it's going to be like a thinner 60s Gibson. It's not a thin neck, but it is thinner than a Gibson 60s. And see, they're not even showing, that's what's funny, they're not even showing the best part of this guitar. These are all the only pictures the site has. But back here, this access cut, I think is the best access cut on an LP guitar to date. The way they've contoured the back of this neck. And they're not even showing a good picture of it. That's awful. Maybe they want a different color they do. Nope, doesn't look like it. Oh, right here. They do show it. They show it on the black one. This cut and the way the neck joins into this body, it is really good. It is really comfortable. It is my favorite. Now I have a Epiphone Alex license access cut, and it's still pretty chunky. It's still pretty chunky right here. This one right here, there's a nice little, I mean, it's pretty abrupt, but it eases into the body right here. So that tenon joint goes all the way back into this bottom side of this pickup cavity, all the way up. And then you can see they basically have a dado running from here back over to where this pickup cavity is, and that neck is set in. It is a nice carve. The little access here. And this is rounded. This is a good 3/8 inch round over on this whole section through here. It's a nice broken edge. Something else I like on the Sire, the fretboard across right here on the binding, they have broken that edge on that guitar too. Or going from the neck on the binding up to the fretboard. It has a nice broken in feel.
Jerry said, so kind of like a standard. My traditional Pro is beefy, but it has serious tone.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little thinner than the Epiphone. Like if you pick up the Epiphone 60s or a Gibson 60s, early 60s, like 63, 64 neck. That's the best description. A little thinner. It's very comfortable. But it's a comfortable guitar, guys. Let me get the chat window back so I can see what you guys are chatting about. Got a lot of windows open.
Jerry said, do you prefer soap bars or dog ears?
I'm not as far as aesthetics, I don't like the dog ears on the P90s. I think it almost makes them look cheap. I hate to say that, um, but it kind of does in my little squirrel brain. It kind of makes them cheap looking. Looks like the pickups. It might sound better because you're literally screwing it right to the body, and there's no adjustment because the way that dog ear comes around, it's locking it to the body. So it might have a bonus as far as tone, since you're attaching it right to the body versus the soap bar that's on springs. Even if you mount it directly to the body, you still got the spring and it has to go through the screw to the pickup body. So you're going to lose a little resonance there simply because it's not a firm mount like the dog ear version. But I like the aesthetics of the soap bar.
Kurt Scale said Sire makes kick-ass jazz basses.
Yeah, Sire is really, I want to say they are probably one of your better manufacturers at the $700 to $500 price point. They're really knocking it out of the park as far as playability. I haven't picked up a Sire yet that I didn't like. They even they're cheap. They're three. Was it the L3 or S3? They're cheaper models. They're going for like $400 or something. Those are nice playing guitars. They really are nice playing guitars. And the finish on those guitars is done really well. There's nothing wrong with the finish on those guitars. There really isn't. If you couldn't take that Larry Carlton guitar out, that Sire, that L7V, and play anywhere with it, if someone ever come up to you in a bar and say, "Oh, that thing doesn't sound anything like a Gibson," that's never going to happen, guys. I played one at Guitar Center probably 7 months ago, and I still kick myself for not buying it. But I was stuck. I went in and said, "I'm not paying more than $500." And they had an L7V in there, and they wanted $550 for it. It played nice. I loved it. I went up and I said, "Will you take $500?" Nope. I said, "Man, I can buy this brand new for $650." And he was like, "It's $550 plus tax. If you want it, that's what I said. I give you $500." And he said, "No." And I get it. It's $50. But at that point, I was just like, I'm not spending more than $500 plus tax, and I didn't buy it. And I should have bought it. It was a good playing guitar. And now that I see this new red color, I'm kind of glad because I think I want to get one in the red. And Washington Music Center is about an hour drive from me. So I'm probably going to go down to Chuck Levin's, which is Washington Music Center, and go in there. Some of those cats have been in there for 30 years. I might have one of those guys pull one for me and check one out in person. I think that's what I'm going to end up doing. But I'm looking back at the chat. I'm trying to be as good as Ted here, and I see a Jerry comment. Linnell runs the show, so bear with it. Yeah, it must have been when she was getting ice. Yeah, she does. Yeah, so what do you guys, I'm looking for another guitar to purchase about $400. I don't want to go over $400 because we want to stay with budget friendly guitars. I've got a couple guitars here to review that are going to be in the $600 to $900 range that are already here. So I'm looking for a good, let's say $350 to $500 guitar that everyone wants to kind of see on a review that, you know, maybe other channels have kind of missed, or you think the other channels are kind of maybe misleading on this product. I don't want to start a cat match between other channels. So, you know, if you think it's misleading, I'll pick one up and we'll see if they're hitting it on the mark, or if it is about AdSense and kickbacks as far as retail mark. But right now I'm kind of liking this one. If you haven't been here, this guitar is about $230, shipped to your door. And I haven't played that much today, so earlier when I was playing, I was misfretting a lot. So I'm going to switch the camera angle here, guys, and we're going to play a couple notes so I can play a whole half step out like I did last time. All right, you guys can see we do have a VU meter now, and I do not have it cranking because I don't want to upset my neighbors. So I've got the one amplifier on, and this time, guys, I'm gonna leave this mic on, but I've turned it down a little bit. When you make a guitar cabinet, the further you go out from the center of the cone, the sound gets a little deeper. And then how you mic the cabinet really changes the way it sounds, and you lose that room tone. So I do have this microphone on just a little bit. It's at about 1/3 to the slider that's in front of the amplifier with the SM57. So let's see what this sounds like. I did a test with it earlier, and it did sound like that it was picking up some of the room reverb and the room fullness. It is mean sounding. That's all you can say.
Jerry said this ain't Spinal Tap.
That's it. I like Spinal Tap. Now, we're going to switch it a little bit. We're going to go to the center position, and this guitar kind of opens up a little bit. beautiful tone. Go up to our neck position. What's this, hon?
Jerry said body shape is straight up Ibanez.
Yeah, it is definitely Ibanez looking. That's our neck position. It's got some nice creamy tones. I really like the sound. It's not just this one, but it gets real creamy. It's a creamy sound to it. It's you can't say that that's not impressive for $230.
Jim
It's
wants to know if you would explain the different ratios on locking tunes.
yeah, I mean that's pretty simple. Let me switch cameras here. So ratios. All right, let's pretend let's say you got 20 to 1. So this is 0 degrees. When you spin your tuning key, okay, all the way back to 0, 20 to 1 means you have to turn this 20 times up here. You've got to do 20 full turns to get this pin to turn a whole 360 degrees. So that's 20 to 1. 18 to 1 would be you'd have to turn this 360 degrees 18 times to get one full revolution of your pin, 360 degrees. The higher the ratio, the more precise this tuning key will be, okay? And the less likely chance of it popping in the gears, okay? It's the tooth count is going to be higher. It's going to be a higher pitch rate. It'll be like a 120 pitch rate or an 80 pitch rate, whatever they're using in there. The higher the pitch rate of the gear, the more accurate the tuning. That doesn't mean that an 18 to 1 may only have 10 gears on it, and then they machine this gear, the spider gear, to where it gives it that ratio. The more teeth that you can put in it, the more accurate it becomes, but the less strength you have. The smaller you make that tooth in the machine head, the less material there is engaging that mechanism, if that makes sense. There's a sweet spot. But 20 to 1 just means 20 revolutions here equals 1 revolution here. 15 to 1, 15 revolutions here to 1 revolution right there. That's the easiest way of explaining it. I tend to like 18 to 1. It seems to work. I know they have 20, 21 to 1. But most of the guitars, guys, that I play are fixed bridge guitars. Floyd bass guitars. So I'm using the fine tuners on the bridge anyway. Really, the only time I'm touching tuners like that is, on this guitar, or I got the Nashville Telly. I've got my Fender FMT that doesn't have a locking nut at the top. Most of my guitars have lock nuts on the top. So the tuning pegs at the top are only there for me to put the strings on it. I think my Fender FMT that I have, I think that's either 16 to 1 or 18 to 1 tuning keys on that guitar. I'm not really sure what that is on that guitar, to be honest with you. Let me open up the chat window. I lost it. Yeah, I just opened up the window again. Jerry says, it has a nice growl. It does, but it also cleans up pretty well. If I take some of the distortion out, this is test night, so it doesn't matter. I'm going to dial some of the distortion out. Okay, I switched from the Friedman over to the Sedano, and I've turned the gain down on the Sedano. It's a little louder. Hold on. Try that setting. And VU still says I'm clipping a little bit. Let's try a center position. Ted's got to go. All right, man. Good to see you, Ted. We're just here chilling out, man. I'm glad you stopped in. I don't know if you're doing a live show tomorrow or not. If you are, Ted, put a plug in the chat window if you're doing a live show tomorrow so everyone knows you're doing it. So let's go up to the next live, Tuesday Night Live. Okay. All right, man. You're welcome to plug your show all you want. I like going there and chilling out with Ted when he's doing his live shows. It's down to earth. It's cool.
Juke said it sounds crisper now.
Yeah, it's got a little crisper sound. Took some of the gain out. This is the Sedano, so we're not as front loaded. Still running 2-stage preamp. So I'm going out of the Sedano into another 12AX7 tube stage that's in the ART. So let's just go up to our neck position here and we can hear what this goes. This is our center position. This has more of like a more full body. Fretting tonight. Let's go to our bridge position, and you're going to hear that it instantly gets a little meaner. It's got a little bit more bite to it, so you can. You can hear it's crisp. It's got some bite. impressed with this thing. It's got a lot of sounds that I haven't even gotten really into rolling the tone back on it. So if we go back and we just crank it up. It's articulate. Whether you're, let's say we're going to do something like. Yes, this is swamp ash. It's beautiful. It's what they call a sandblasted finish, so you can feel the grain. It's like an etched grain, and this would be a whitewash finish. You know, they even thought, like back here, see the holes in the tremolo cover? Sometimes you'll see these holes, but you still can't get to the screws to the claw. So this one, you can actually see the screws right there. It's pretty easy to adjust. So as you're tightening your strings and your bridge starts coming up, it's really easy to get in there, make your adjustments, keep the bridge in tune without having to take that cover plate off. I see a lot of guitar companies do this, but then you still can't get the screwdriver into the screw. It's in there cantywampus, and you end up stripping the screw because the angle that they've cut in this cover doesn't align to the screw that they're using on the claw, so it becomes redundant. You can't use it. It's well thought out. I'm not saying the guitar is perfect. In the review, I do show some of the things that I found with the guitar, but we're talking about a $230 guitar. I've been playing this. Actually, I told Linnell it's a shame that it sat in there in the box for 6 months. It sat in the box for 6 months because I ordered two. I ordered this one and the one with the Floyd Rose Bridge. And the one with the Floyd Rose Bridge was so horrible that I was kind of like, ugh, I'm not going to even open the other box. But then I remembered that I ordered two completely different models, same body style, one with just the regular non-locking fulcrum bass tremolo, and then the one with the Floyd Rose. And this one just has the two-post fulcrum based non-locking bridge. And you guys have seen, I'm not beating the piss out of the bar, but I am moving the bar, and I've yet to tune it. It's a little out. I'm not saying it's perfect, but for what it is, and me using the bar, it's doing pretty well. I have put no nut lube on the nut. I haven't dressed the nut. That's just how it came out of the box. It's pretty impressive. I like it. So we've been jumping around. As I look over, sometimes it says we have 16, sometimes we have 12. I'm kind of hoping that, this is different content, guys, than I normally do. Normally, I just talk in front of the camera, and if I make a boo-boo, you can fix it. Just like when I'm playing the guitar on the demos, if I make a boo-boo, I can go back and go, okay. I always try to be professional as I can. But like I said earlier, when I made mistakes, tonight I'm not playing very well. Sometimes we don't click. And what's funny is last night I was playing, and it just felt like everything was just coming out effortless. I can't even explain it. It just seemed like the fretboard and my fingers, everything was in unison together last night. And tonight I seem to be, when I'm going down, I'm off a half step. And I'm going to contribute that, as I've been playing a lot of 24 and 3/4 scale length guitars, and this is a 25.5. So I think when I'm going down on the neck like that and I'm going down a half step, I'm off a half step, I think that's me getting used to the other scale length, and now I'm having to readjust to the 24.5. At least that's my excuse, and I'm going to stick to it.
Jerry said beats the hell out of what you used to be able to get for $230.
Oh yeah, you can't compare. Even 20 years ago, you can't compare, this guitar to a $230 guitar back then. You know, and the dollar amount actually bought more back then than it does now. That's what's scary. $230 now versus then. $230. $230 won't buy as much now as it did back then. I guess that's my point. So $230 then would probably be $350, $360 in today's money. So think about how much. I mean, that really puts you. I mean, this is a unique guitar. I'm trying to think in my head at $350 if there to be something that I think would be worth the extra $140. They'd be like, oh yes, it's definitely worth that $140, and nothing's really coming to my mind. I mean, I have my Nashville Telly. I'm not saying that it's a bad guitar. It did cost $329, but there's nothing on that guitar that's telling me that it's $130 better than this guitar. They're completely different instruments. They sound completely different. They play completely different, if that makes sense. But I'm not feeling a $130 price difference between the two. So I think that's part of the problem that we have now. It's hard to justify sometimes the price of these guitars. So when we go into a store, like I said earlier, sometimes you just bond with it. If you bond with it, you bond with it, buy it, because you're probably going to regret not getting it. Whether that's a $200 Squire Affinity, or a $200 Firefly, or a $1,000 Kramer, or Epiphone, or LTD, whatever that is, if you bond with it, you bond with it. It doesn't matter the name on the headstock, or if it's made in Indonesia or China or Korea, or it's a used USA Fender American that you find at some estate sale that they don't know what they have. It happens. It does happen. I see deals sometimes. People go, I paid $500. It was an estate auction. It was just there. And, it's a 70s Strat. They had no idea. So sometimes you get those good deals. Did anybody put a comment in the chat on what a guitar that they'd be curious on reviewing for the channel? Linnell says no, so no one's made a comment on that. So nobody has an opinion on something that they'd like to see. I found that, it says 11 people in the group. So nobody has a model that they're curious about, that they haven't put their hands on, that's in the $350 to $500 price market. That's kind of what I'm looking for. I'm looking for my next purchase. I will go, and we're going to look at Amazon. Let me pull up Amazon, and I'll show you the guy. I'm going to show you guys this, and then you all are going to go buy them out, and I won't get one. Because I think it said it was only 9 left in stock, if I remember correctly. Let me pull up my cart here. Oh, it's on sale. Okay, let me go back to OBS, and I'm going to put display capture. Now I need to minimize OBS. And here's the guitar I'm thinking about getting, guys. This is an E-Art. And if you look, the body shape is very similar to the guitar that I was just playing. This is a 24 fret guitar. It is 6 string. Now this one is a fixed based bridge. It has no tremolo, so it is fixed bridge. Okay. It has 2 active electronics, pickups, a volume, a tone, 3-way selector. And they're saying it has a bone nut, 24 rounded ball end frets, medium jumbo stainless steel. Okay. Now it's saying Indian rosewood, 9.5 to 14-inch compound radius. And for me, I'm thinking that would be awesome. Basically a 10-inch to 14-inch compound radius neck board. That would be, for me, I think that seems to be my favorite. If it's around 10, 11 to 14 or 14 to 15, I find those really comfortable. And then it's satin white, 3-piece roasted maple neck. Of course, it's painted, so you can't see the roasting. And then you can see the pickup cover plate and the electronics cover plate, and it is string through body. And then here's the headstock. They have it white and black. Of course, this black looks more like a gray with like a stone gray, like a stone type finish. And it's saying 1 to 19 on the tuners. So that means you're going to turn the tuning peg 19 times for 1 rotation. And that would be nice because you don't have a lock nut there. So that would give you a good precision. And it looks like they're, I can't tell if I can't tell if there's a standoff there and those are lock nut locking tuners or they're not locking tuners. I can't really tell. Let's see if it says here. Active pickups, modern die-cast tuners for reliable tuning. Pulse includes die-cast tuning machines. It does not say they're locking, so it must be just standard tuners. But I was thinking about this one, guys. I don't know what you all think about E-Art. I have reviewed an E-Art on the channel. I reviewed an E-Art headless before. So I was thinking about that one. Any thoughts on that one, guys? I need to get my chat window back so I can see the chat. I think I put everyone to sleep. Thank God it's a Friday night live stream and this one doesn't count. Alright, well, no comment on the E-Art. I'm surprised on that. I'm surprised that no one had a comment on the E-Art. I've been just trying to find something different to review that hasn't been all over YouTube. I don't really want to order a Leo James. I have not had an Ivy on the guitar. I guess we could I guess we could look up an Ivy.
IYV.
Yeah, IYV. IYV. Let's see what comes up when we look up IYV. Let me switch back over to the display camera. And Linnell will have to holler in if you all make a comment. So here's the results for IYV. And of course, they've been making this Rickenbacker model for a while, the hollow body. And this is like the little Les Paul Jr. type thing. Single P90 with a soap bar for $139. Of course, we got the Leo James again. Leo James, Leo James, Leo James. And here's another IYV, like a Rickenbacker take. Here's their Les Paul version. This reminds me of the offset SG that Firefly's doing. There was another guitar company that was doing this too. West Creek was doing an offset SG body. Then of course we have the Strat, or not Strat, Telecaster model. Another Les Paul model. And I guess this is their answer to the Acoustasonic like Fender does. Two of those. And I have really thought about ordering this guitar or this guitar. I actually ordered this guitar once before, but they had this model with P90s, and it didn't show up, and it kept saying it was in delivery, it was in delivery, it was in delivery. And what was funny is I called Amazon on it and sent them an email, and they said, you know, if you wanted to cancel it, just go ahead and cancel it. We'd refund you. And I wasn't getting an update. And they were like, well, it's probably just lost. So what's funny is the day I canceled it, the very next day, Amazon showed it being shipped from, it was like Baltimore. It was somewhere close to me, back to the manufacturer. So I don't know if it took me to cancel the order before they actually scrambled to find it. But that model is yet to come back. This bass guitar with P90s. And then this is basically a dressed up version of it. And I've been hearing hit and miss things about this guitar. Of course, it's not available right now.
Jerry said, I've been looking more at the used market. I'll look and see what I can find that looks interesting. When I find the Bromo, I'll get with you to get it your way first so you can critique it.
Yeah, I'm looking for something different. You know, I don't know if it'll be an IYV or not. I hear hit and miss about this company. They either praise them and say they're just great, or people just say they're awful. I find that, well, I don't really know what to say. I've yet to review one of their instruments, so I can't weigh in on it. But that's what they're showing as far as IYV. And then a lot of people are talking about this one donor, the new donor that the new Strat model donor has. Everyone's claiming it's like a $300 guitar. It's a higher price point donor than most of their product line. But I think a lot of people have reviewed those. And here's something, IYV does this a lot. They'll come out with a model, and it'll be on Amazon for about 2 or 3 weeks, and then it disappears for 6 months. Now this is a model I've yet to see from them. This is the first time viewing this guitar. Fan fret. And you can see this is really fanned. If you look at how that nut is set to the headstock, and then how the neck is set to the body, there's quite a difference in scale length between the high E and low E. But I would be curious. I mean, it's a $219 guitar. I would be curious. It says it has 3 ratings. Let's look at the ratings. Huge note. Everything nowadays is made on the CNC.
Jerry said Bald Shredder says
Yeah, I've seen his reviews on IYV. I think he had one of his guitars custom made by them or something. IYV. I know his last that Kanaka or whatever it was, that custom run that he made. I think that one was made by Leo James, but I think he has had IYV make a couple guitars for him. But I've yet to review one. And looking at the shadow on the body on this guitar, it looks like it's a raised top on this.
I think Jerry, he said, I think he was talking about the new, how do you say that, Donner Strat?
Yeah, it's the new Donner Strat. I don't know if I type in Donner here, if it'll come up. I'm not seeing that particular one. It's like an ST. It's their higher end model. Yeah, I'm not seeing it now.
Pinagore says, I have three IYV guitars, the IP300 TSB, IYV IJZ300A TSB, and the double neck. All very good.
All right. Well, I may have to order an IYV then. I haven't had one on the channel, so I may end up ordering one. And here again with the Super Strat Ibanez type body. I'm not seeing that one donor that everyone was talking about, or Donner. I'm not seeing it listed anymore. And this is a brand that showed up about 3 or 4 months ago. This KGD for $229. I've often thought about ordering one of their guitars as well. Oh, here's one from Stag. I just said I hadn't seen anything from Stag in a while, and lo and behold, there's one on Amazon right now. I hadn't seen one of their models for a while. It's funny how Amazon search results come up. If you type in one brand, how it'll kind of skew the search results on the back side on other manufacturers that aren't necessarily what you were looking for. Because I've typed in Fender and all these other different brands and hadn't come up with Stag before tonight. Not for a long time. All right, well, I would be curious when Jerry gets the list together. We can go over that and make a decision on what the next one will be. But I'm working on this review, guys. So, like I said, we're probably going to do a premiere next Friday on that review, and then I might just release a SY2 review on like Tuesday. It depends on how it works. I'll let you guys leave comments in the community section on if you'd rather do a premiere video on Friday on the Firefly, and then because Friday nights is going to be the float night, whether we do a live show or a premiere where it's a new video. But I think I'm going to end the live stream here, guys. My throat's getting a little hoarse, and I think we made some changes. I think the new camera angles are working pretty good. Everyone says the amp sounds pretty good, so I'm going to leave the settings the way they are for tomorrow night's stream, so we should be in good shape.
Pinagore said the 12-string nut on the 12-string side of the double neck often needs to be replaced. I assumed it was just mine, but I've read that in other reviews. Then they said everything looks and sounds very good.
Yeah, I'm trying to make little improvements, guys. Each night, little improvements. I'm surprised Kurt didn't have an input on a guitar he would like to see in the sub $500 range. Is there a particular model, Kurt, that you were thinking about, or Pinagore? I'm just open. What you guys, everyone's usually their fingers on the pulse of what's being talked about. So you guys think about it, and we can discuss it tomorrow night. We might do a poll on what $350 to $550 guitar everyone would like to. A Strandberg Classic. Oh my gosh. I don't think you can get one of those from $350 to $550. But if you can, send me a link. I'm going to get two. I think Strandbergs are in the $1,600 price range. I could be wrong. All right, guys. Hope you guys have a good night. And again, I appreciate everyone coming in. I think tonight we had like 17 tops viewers. And for a Friday night competing with the big channels, I'd say that's pretty good, especially for a channel just kind of goofing off on Friday nights. It's a lot of fun to work all week. You know, the whole time I'm coming home from work, I'm like, it's live stream night. It's time to unwind. It's time to get in and chat and talk and just let the week, let it all melt away and let's talk music and guitars. I was really looking forward to it all day while I was working. I'm like, I'll go home, we'll have a live stream, get to play the guitar a little bit. It's something that I'll look forward to all week, guys. Get and spend some time with you all. Anyway, I'll see everyone tomorrow night. Again, thank you so much for watching the live. On the way out, hit the little like button. It helps YouTube. And even leave comments in the comments section. That actually helps the video as well, guys. And I'll see everyone tomorrow night. And post in the community page if there's something that you all want to go over tomorrow night. Like Jerry did, he said he wanted to look at a PV Impact, so I was already prepared when the live stream started. We went right to the PV Impact stuff at the very beginning of the video. So post in the community section, and I'll have all that stuff ready for tomorrow night. Again, thanks, guys. Hit the like button on the way out. Bye.